Hi class, I wanted to make another video talking you through how you go about citing your secondary sources, since it is one of the more demanding, exacting, fiddly things you'll have to do for this class. So let's get started on that. I want to start out by talking about why you need to cite your sources. I think very often when we encounter citation for the first time, we wonder why on earth anyone bothers about it. Certainly, those were my feelings when I was an undergraduate. It seemed fiddly, it seemed pedantic, it seemed like something only academics would actually care about. However, citations serve a number of very important purposes. First of all, citations help your readers find your sources for themselves if they're interested in their claims. So they can actually take your works cited page, look through it, and track down other sources to continue their own research. And that's something you can do for your own annotated bibliography. If you find an absolutely perfect source, you can use that source to help you continue your research. You can look at its works cited page, see if any of the articles or websites in it look promising, and then use the information in those citations to track them down and check them out for yourself. Another really good reason to cite is that it helps to improve your ethos, your credibility, your trustworthiness, by showing that you've done your research and you're familiar with the field. So it's a way for you to demonstrate that you've looked at secondary sources, you've informed yourself, you know exactly what you're talking about. And last, citation helps you to give proper credit to the person who had the idea. It's your way of saying, yeah, this idea isn't mine. It belongs to someone else. They deserve the credit for it. And so it also helps you to avoid plagiarism, which has really serious consequences. So after you've finished watching this video, I have another video made by Ohio State University on academic misconduct and plagiarism, which I'd like you to watch. You can find the link for it in Carmen. So those are some reasons why you might cite. How exactly then do you go about putting together a citation? So to cite your sources, you'll always use a citation style that's appropriate for your field. In English, we tend to use either MLA or Chicago style. In this class, in English 1110 in general, we learn how to use MLA. Now, you'll find that you won't use MLA in every single field that you do. Especially in the sciences and education, you'll use other citation styles. However, if you know how to put together a citation for MLA, it's very easy for you to take those skills and that knowledge and apply it to any citation style that you encounter. So even if you never do MLA again, which is certainly possible, you'll find that having the knowledge to construct citations in MLA will help you construct citations in other styles. You might ask, why is it important to use a recognized citation style? As an undergrad, I always also used to wonder why I had to use a particular style. I always thought, well, as long as I gave the information, as long as I gave the other person credit, who really cared? However, it is important to use a well-known citation style because it makes things a lot clearer for your readers. They're able to tell immediately what each piece of information is, and they don't have any issues then tracking down the source. So, just as a brief note, On the internet, you'll find citation generators. You'll find EasyBib, Citation Machine, NightCite, a whole bunch of services. Likewise, as you saw in your workshop on research databases, they often have citation generators built into them. Now, you can use those generators. I normally don't have a problem with that, but you do have the responsibility to check them to make sure they're accurate. They'll often have errors for a number of reasons. First, the programmer might have screwed up. Second, the format of the information they pull might be different from the format you need to put it in the citation. And last, they might also be out of date. And that actually is going to be your big problem at the moment. MLA has recently updated to the 8th edition. It did it in April of this year. From what I can tell, none of the citation generators on the internet have updated for the 8th edition. They're still working on the older 7th edition. So if you use them, they're going to produce very out-of-date citations. MLA has changed a lot since the 7th edition. It's been completely redesigned so that it's friendlier to digital sources. And so the way you put an MLA citation together in the 8th edition is completely different in the 7th edition. So at least for now, you may find that you want to write your own citations because you don't want to lose points for getting it wrong. And you certainly don't want your ethos, your credibility to suffer. So let's talk now about how MLA works. I always like to tell students that MLA involves a double entry system. So what I mean by that is you need to have citations at 2 points. On the one hand, you have in-text citations, which are short, efficient citations within the body of the essay that point the reader to the appropriate entry in the works cited page. Then, at the very end of the document, you have a works cited page with longer, fuller citations that give your readers all the information they need to know about the source. So this is an example of how the double entry system works. As you can see, within the article, at the moment where secondary sources have been used, you have an in-text citation, which here, this is an older MLA, is just the author's surname and page number. The author's surname links to an entry in the works cited page because they're ordered alphabetically by author's surname. And this entry in the works cited page has all of the rest of the information that you need to track down the source. So today we're mostly going to be focusing on the works cited page. Later on we'll be dealing with in-text citations. So to compile a good works cited page, you need to basically know 2 things. First of all, what kind of text your source is, and second of all, what template to use for that text. I'm never going to expect you to memorize MLA. I'm never going to test you on it in that way. These are the only 2 things you need to know, both in this course and in general. So let's look at how you'll put citations together. And let's start with a book, because books are relatively straightforward and will give you an idea of the procedure. So the template for a book is a last name, comma first name, title of the book in italics, the name of the publisher, comma, date of publication. So an entry for Connie M. Morrison's Who Do They Think They Are? Teenage Girls and Their Avatars in Spaces of Social Online Communication would look like this. And all of these sources are available for you to look at in Carmen. So I'd encourage you to take a look at them, compare the template with them, and see where actually you can find all of that information for yourself. Next up, we have a journal article from a database, which I imagine most of you will be using one of. A journal article is obviously not a book, and so it has a separate template. The template for a journal article also is a last name, first name, the title of an article in quotation marks, the title of the journal in italics, a comma, the volume number, another comma, the issue number, the date of publication, the pages of the journal that the article appears on, the title of the database, and then the digital object identifier. So let me show you where to find some of these things in EBSCOhost. So if you look at this journal entry for Avatar Ethics, Beyond Images in Signs, you'll normally find the title of the journal, the date of publication, the volume number, the issue number, and the page range here. You'll find the DOI in a separate entry here. Now, if it turns out that you actually can't find the DOI, you're going to want to give the URL, the web address. I'm sorry about that, I'm still getting over a cold. Last but not least, we have the web page, and it again has a different template. Again, you have the last name and first name, you have the title of the page, you have the name of the website in italics. If the name of the website is different from the organization, the institution, the publisher behind the website, you also want to give the name of the organization and the institution as well. You want to give the date of publication next, then the URL, and last but not least, you want to give the date that you accessed it. So you may find in some cases that in order to find the information on a website, you have to poke around a bit. You'll very often have the title and the author in an obvious place. If there is no author though, you simply leave out that particular part of the template and start with the title. And the title goes, again, into the list of entries alphabetically. So in this case, because it starts with a number, it would actually almost be the first entry, because numbers go before letters. However, to find things like the publisher, you may actually find that you need to look around the site a bit more. So very often to find the organization, the institution, the sponsor, you'll want to click About. And if you go through there, you occasionally will be able to find who's behind it. In this case, if you look around enough, you'll find that BuzzFeed Inc. is behind BuzzFeed. Since the name of the website and the institutional publisher is the same, you would just give the name of the site there. Okay, so now I'd like you to try it for yourself. I have an exercise for you to do where you've been given a works cited page on the subject of avatars. However, the person who put the works cited page together has made a ton of mistakes. It's your job to first of all find and highlight the mistakes and then write out correct versions of the entry. So that and the questions on plagiarism are going to be what's due to Carmen today. So again, I hope this was helpful, and please feel free to ask me any questions you have about it. It is tricky, finicky stuff. So thanks for your patience, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.